Good morning. Happy Hump Day. It is the 19th of January, 2022. Grandpa Ranty's in the house. Got my Java. Here to talk some Raiders. It's my adopted favorite franchise. Some of you guys that know me the best, you know I'm big on the Redskins. Oh, Washington football team. Um, and I've kind of taken to the Raiders. I love these guys. I love the character of this group. Look at what they've done this year, how much they've come through. They had the downfall of Chucky. They had the Ruggs DUI, fatal DUI crash. Um, you had Arnett running around thinking he's John Wick. Look at my guns. A lot of problems in this organization. Problems that somebody could not have foreseen. Ruggs had no criminal record prior. There's something about Vegas when you come there. There's a lot of temptations that maybe in some places you don't see. That doesn't make it okay at all. Maybe organizationally they need to put some body men on these guys. That's in the lingo. That's security. Most of the modern athletes are very pampered. They don't hear no very often. You put them in the appropriately named Sin City, you are asking for some trouble. So Mike Mayock gets it in the neck on Monday. Apparently because of these things that have happened. His draft record, was mostly good. 2020's draft record's really bad, but when you consider some of it was stuff that he could not have been foreseen, then you look at it differently. I'm struggling with the idea that a 10-7 team, where the guy comes in, all this strife, all these problems, he goes 7-5 to close, as a coach to the end of the regular season. Gets him into the playoffs. Okay? The first time in a long time. Second time in 20 years. They were not favored in their game in Cincinnati. They come down to the final play, they almost pull it off. Do I wish Carr would have taken just a little bit more time? Waited for the wheel route on the outside. On the right-hand side, Waller could have gone for a fade. Could he have waited for the guy that was inside doing a crossing pattern inside the end zone to come free? He could have. Maybe the fact that his lines pass blocking is among the worst in the NFL sped up that clock in his head. That happens to everybody, including a certain Thomas Brady. Who knows? He had a little more time. Catastrophic throw. He completes that pass into the end zone, and we're probably, in all likelihood, we're talking about the Tennessee Titans. And not blowing up a franchise that just went to the playoffs for the second time in 20 years. With a top 10 quarterback. A defense that got marginally better, but not better enough. Mainly due to philosophy. The bend break. It's not. You need to start throwing some pressure. Offensively, not very innovative. Ain't fooling too many people. I'd like to see somebody who pushes the envelope a little bit more. So while there are some things that need changed, Do you blow up a team that just made the playoffs? I wouldn't have. So we're looking at Mayock taking it in the neck. There are very few people who know football any better than him, who know personnel any better than him. I think they're going to regret this. First two people in the door Thursday and tomorrow and Friday are going to be people, one from New England, and the New England coaching tree and the New England personnel tree has not been that successful. It just hasn't. Brian Flores is only one of them. You got the Tennessee Titans is employing a head coach, Mike Vrabel. Is he where he is without Henry? Probably not. So you have to start looking at the fact that maybe the Patriots West isn't the greatest of ideas. Maybe Brady built Foxborough and not the other way around. I kind of think the KC tree is a lot better. Okay, the coaching tree. You got John Harbaugh. You got Doug Peterson. Got some people with rings. Okay. Maybe you look at those organizations as well. But we're gonna bring somebody in from Foxborough, Ziegler, and I'm blanking on the other guy's name because I just don't care at this point. But Chicago? Really? You're seriously looking at a personnel person from Chicago? Okay. You had Mike Mayock. You had Mike Mayock, and you're going to try to hire somebody from Chicago. Lovely city. Somebody explain what the Chicago Bears have done right in personnel. I hear crickets. Oh, wait. Out in the distance, I hear laughter. Yes. So who would I like to see? I'd like to see Louis Riddick get this job. He has front office experience. He has an old school mentality, but he also understands the analytics. He also has the correct temperament and drive and media savvy. And he is very well connected, and he is very authentic. I would bring him in a heartbeat. But the Raiders are doing Raiders things, which is as soon as they take a step forward, they make sure to find a sinkhole somewhere. That's what they do. Always have, and they probably always will. But again, I will tell you, I love the players in this organization. I've come to really appreciate Bisaccia, and I'll get into him in a minute. But Derek Carr, he's really bald, okay? And almost every year not had a good defense, including this one. This defense isn't that good. It wasn't that good. It was still in the bottom half. Derek Carr has not had a defense on the top half in the NFL in any year that he's been with the Raiders. And all you Carr haters, explain to me how you can expect him to win games when other quarterbacks only have to score 20 and he has to score 30. And when he scores 28 and loses, he's a bum. Explain that to me. Explain to me why he's like number 2 in the NFL in come from behind victories? Explain that to me. But he's not clutch. Where I come from, being clutch is something that makes you the big E word. Elite. He's an exceptional quarterback. And he's got an it factor. And he's growing. He still is. You gotta remember, the guys with the gray beards in football are 30. They're not 50. Not 60 or 70. 30. He's still growing. He's running an organization on the field. It's the size of some small cities, some small towns. It takes some time. It takes a certain amount of personal, interpersonal skills, leadership traits that he has in abundance. He's a good dude. He's smart, great arm. But oh my goodness, he makes a mistake once in a while, and they are out to crucify him. Other quarterbacks make the same mistakes or worse, and the excuse posse comes out to clean it up for him. Okay? It's sad. But there's other guys that I really like on this team too. Darren Waller, the stuff he's come through. Max Crosby, the stuff he's come through. Yannick Ngakoue, he's the truth, man. And there's other dudes. There's really good players. I'm leaving out players that are really good, but I'm saying that the ones that I really gravitate to myself, and you've got Hunter Renfrow. Djax is a good player. They need to integrate him better. He's still got a lot in the tank. Josh Jacobs. This is a group of young men that I actually really like. I want them to get this right. But early returns are showing me they're not going to. They're going to get this catastrophically wrong. And that really sucks. I'll still be a fan. But if they get this really wrong, I have to hope these guys find new homes. Because they're better than this. These guys that I mentioned. They don't deserve this. Derek Carr will be with his 6th offensive coordinator. 6. Not 1 or 2, not 3. 6. Okay? Way too many head coaches. He's never had a head coach more than 2.5 years. Truth. This is a problem. So we had it going in the right direction. Yeah, let's just throw a hand grenade in there. That'll fix them. So I'll go from the playoffs to a regression next year. Okay? If they're not very, very careful. If they hire the right person, or the people in that room just say, you know what, we're going to win no matter what. We're going to circle the wagons. We're going to win despite the clown they put in charge. Then maybe they do it. It would help to hire the right people. So the guy running the draft room from Chicago, huh? Okay. That kind of short bus thinking is going to get you far, kids. But what do you expect from the guy that owns the club, who runs around in a haircut from Dumb and Dumber? And now he's living up to it. Just catastrophically stupid. But what do I really think? So let's get into the head coach. When they did the logo stuff and everything else in the middle of the season, and they got destroyed by the Kansas City Chiefs, I was for him to be out. Bisaccia. He proved something to me. And to everybody else. And he circled those wagons. They played some good ball down the stretch. And they started to play Raider football. Jacobs started getting the pick. He started getting the pill. And I ain't talking about birth control. He was toting the pill for, down the stretch really well. I like what they were doing. They were starting to do with him. They have a good run blocking scheme. They can't pass block. So maybe Cable needs to go. Or they just need to get better people, or they just need to not have injuries all the time. Okay. Olsen's not a great offensive coordinator. But when we look at the head coach, he didn't pick the coordinators. He did a really good job. 7-5 down the stretch, and they lost an opening round playoff game. They're in the playoffs for the second time in 20 years. I think you keep this guy involved. Not just because he's a player coach. Because not all players coaches are good. But this guy has a ton of experience. Look at his resume. He has been all over the place. And you can look as far and as short as John Harbaugh to see somebody that comes from being a special teams background becomes an exceptional coach. One of the reasons for that is that the special teams coach has to deal with the offense and the defensive players. He has a broad swath of relationships in that clubhouse. And he's used to dealing with, in that one. But throughout his career, he's dealt with most of the teams he's on. He deals with most of the players on each of the teams that he's on. He's a wide swath of experience. He's not your typical coordinator that they're gonna interview, like Brian Daboll or Bieniemy or whatever. You also know what you got in him, so I'd like to see him stay. That's my number one option. However, getting rid of Mayock tells me that they are probably not interested in keeping him. So, what's my next option? Why don't we consider somebody with a ring? Maybe somebody that is innovative, comes from a background, comes from a coaching tree that's actually been successful. How about Douglas Peterson? He took Carson Wentz, and then he got hurt, and he had to bring a journeyman in to win the Super Bowl in Philly. Okay, and then Jeffrey Lurie goes full on attitude and gets rid of him. Pretty dumb. He's taking some time off. I think he's ready. I would bring him in a heartbeat. I think he would play very, very well with Carr. I think he would be very happy to have Carr because he would know that that team's going to put some points up. And if they bring in anybody that's even decent, they're going to start looking at beefing up the wide receiver core, the offensive line, okay? And the defense is probably going to start, putting pressure on opposing quarterbacks. It's just an idea. So I think Doug Peterson gets that job done. Next one I would consider is Brian Flores. I jokingly say he understands how to deal with a dysfunctional environment. He was in Miami. I say jokingly, but I'm serious at the same time. It's a serious issue. His ultimate crime that got him fired, despite being over 500 and winning the last 7 games in a row, including over playoff team New England. Everybody was saying it's because he doesn't get along with the players. No, he disagreed with management and felt that Tua is a bust. And he's right. Tua is a marginal quarterback prospect at this point. They had to keep bailing him out the last 2 years. Always, when they had the bearded one down there, Fitzpatrick. Always had to keep coming in relief again, and that's not something that number one quarterbacks have to deal with all that often or that many times if they're being successful. Okay? He's undersized. He's accurate, mainly. Can't read half the field. Sometimes being mobile but not being able to read a defense well enough, it's not good enough. Quarterback is more than just being an athlete. You have to be able to do things from the mental side of the game that show you you're the 5-star general. Okay, you're not just an extension of the running back position. I don't care how much they try to change the position and dumb it down. You can't dumb down somebody that deals with deception, defensive pressure packages, and everything else every single down. You have to be able to put your team in the right positions, the right protections. It's an intelligence position. It's not a grunt position. Tua is a bust. And so when he went back to Ross and said, I would like us to look at Deshaun Watson. If we could get the clearance from the NFL that he's not going to get suspended or whatever, I'd like to take a look at him. And they disagreed. They believe Tua is the great I am. So the daily double of I have absolutely no football understanding coming from Ross was that, number one, I'm going to act like Tua is not a bust. Jackass. Number two, I'm going to get rid of a coach that's obviously overperforming for the offensive capabilities that his team has. He built a really good defense, and he brought a failing quarterback to an over 500 record, winning the last 7 games in a row. Could you imagine what he would do with Derek Carr? One of these. It's on the right hand. It's not the left. No, he's not getting married to him. That's a Super Bowl ring. The big honking things. Supposedly why we're doing this. Just an idea. I'm hearing Harbaugh out there. I've never understood why Harbaugh is so great. Did well at Stanford. Okay. It's in the Pac-12, though. He had luck. Andrew Luck. Okay. That's the one great quarterback that he's had. And it's the only one, and he didn't get that much better. He was just a really good quarterback when he came in. Because Shaw did pretty well right behind him. So I don't, as far as a coach. So he goes to the 49ers, where they already had an exceptional defense. And they had skill position players everywhere on offense. And they got this kid who decides he wants to be a social justice warrior afterwards, but at the time was actually playing the position and was fairly good. Kaepernick. So he stepped into a perfect situation, and he never won a Super Bowl there. But he's the great I am, and anytime he sticks his finger up in the air, we're supposed to faint. So then he goes to Michigan. He didn't complete the job. By the way, he didn't complete the job. He didn't complete the job in Stanford. Went to the 49ers, didn't complete the job there. Then he went to Michigan. Took him 7 years to beat Ohio State, and it was only because Ohio State's in a down year. Ryan Day cleans his clock. You want to go get a college coach, go get Ryan Day. Harbaugh, I'm laughing. Actually, it's a nervous laugh because they're just stupid enough to do it. Just stupid enough to do it. They don't realize is earlier, in 2021, after the last season, not the 21-22 season, but the 2021 season, he almost lost his job. They forced him to take an incentive. They ripped up his contract. They gave him an incentive-laden contract. He's not happy with it. So now he gets into the college football playoff because the good teams in his division had bad years. Get slaughtered in the national in the semifinal game. They didn't even look like they should be on the same field. After 7 years. And this is the guy you want to bring you to the promised land. Oh, you gotta be morons. I'm sorry. You gotta be absolute, unmitigated ass clowns. Look it up. There is such a thing. Because I said so. When you look it up, you'll see Jim Harbaugh's face. I'm not a fan. If there is an overrated coach on this planet, it's Jim Harbaugh. Period. I am incensed that he could be the head coach of the Raiders. There's another piece to this, too. Because he had to take that incentive-laden contract, and now he's trying to get he wants to get paid up more of a base salary again. Jeez. Could you think of any reasons why he'd be dangling his name out? Now, he might be just trying to get an extension, right? Because that's what he kind of does. Or he could be panicking and going, it ain't going to get any better than this because I never finish anything. I never win the big game. I got to the Final Four. Hey, guys, don't you love me? I know I was brought there to win a national championship, and I'll never, ever get there because I've never won the big game, ever. But I'm awesome. Hire me as one of the 30 best head coaches at the professional level. This guy's never won a championship, can't finish anything, even when he is handed all the tools he needed in San Francisco. He couldn't finish it. It's kind of like the coaching version of erectile dysfunction. You hire him, you're a jackass. You're an absolute effing jackass. But it would be Raiders doing Raiders things. I'm even going to be pissed off if he gets an interview. It's unbelievable. I want Louis Riddick. And I want either Peterson. I want either Bisaccia stays, Peterson, or Flores. Anything else will be the proverbial slow motion train wreck that I've come to not appreciate but expect from the son of Al Davis, who must be rolling in his freaking grave. Love him or hate him, it was just win, baby. And I'm not so sure they have that ethic anymore. I hope they get this right. It ain't looking good yet. So far, I ain't liking what I'm hearing. Just the fact that the guy coming from Chicago, is even getting an interview. No, that's a bad sign. That Dumb and Dumber look, it might not just be a look. He destroys what was on its way to a Lombardi. Blows this up. At what point does he sell this team? Because all you've had is dysfunction. It's all you've done. Coach after coach, GM after GM, coordinator after coordinator. Once in your freaking life, do something right. And doing something right is not named Jim Harbaugh. John Harbaugh would be a decent one. Even I think he ain't the right one either. But Jim Harbaugh, no. So that's all I have for you today. A little bit of an extended version. I told you Grandpa Ranty was in the house. You was warned. Yes. And a good one it was. Stupid they are. Stupid things they will do. So I hope you have a great hump day. Don't have any parting wisdom. I think I'll just leave it there. It's been a long one, so I hope you do enjoy it. And in exchange for all that, I would really appreciate if you help me to create some community. I like it when I hear comments back in my direction. Doesn't happen enough. And it's hard when you have a channel that's not devoted to TikTok videos and dancing around looking like a clown, or giving investment advice that would basically make you lose all your money, or any of the other things that do well on YouTube. But I long ago believed that if I can grow this channel, I'll be very happy. And if I can't grow this channel, I'll be very happy. Because this will be a testament to some of the things that I do, some of the things that I believe for my son when I'm no longer here. That's why I keep it up, whether I've got a lot of followers or not. It does not matter in regards to whether I keep doing it or not. I would like to grow the channel. I would like to have a community of people that are like-minded. And when the temperatures get back up to where we can go outside and not freeze our tuchuses off, I would really like to start getting back into some coaching ideas, particularly in the basketball realm, but in some others as well. And, we'll do some of that theory stuff coming up soon, but I really enjoy that side of it too. So we'll keep keeping on. And once in a while, Grandpa Ranty's going to get loose. He'll get up in your caboose, as they say. Or not. So anyway, in exchange for all that, I would really, really appreciate it if you would like, comment, subscribe, hit the ringy-dingy, say all, and then spread this video far and wide. Sharing is caring, and I need all the caring that I can get. You guys have a fantabulous even hump day, and I will try to holler at you on Friday. Peace out, me homies. See ya.